transparency purposes, my phone is active, open, and here, and that's why. 4.1, reconvene in open session. I need a motion in a second.
So move.
Moved by Mr. O'Banion,
Second.
second by Mr. Barnes. Call for the vote. .2, report out of closed session. The board has completed its deliberations, and it is the decision of the board to uphold the immediate suspension without pay and dismissal of classified employees. It was a unanimous vote. 4.2, report out of closed session. The board has completed its deliberations, and it is the decision of the board to uphold the immediate suspension without pay. It was a unanimous vote. 4.2,
I pledge allegiance to the flag
the board has completed its deliberations,
and to the
and
republic
it is the decision of the board to uphold the immediate suspension.
indivisible, with liberty.
It was a unanimous vote. 4.2,
I pledge allegiance to the flag
the board has completed its deliberations,
and to the
and
republic
it is the decision of the board to uphold the immediate suspension.
indivisible.
Dear Lord, we gather here tonight. We ask that you guide and protect our students, our entire staff of our district, all of the families in our community, and all those who gather here this evening. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. 7.1, annual Williams Valenzuela report presented by Mr. Andrews on behalf of the county superintendent of schools for Milton County Education. Welcome back, Ms. Andrews.
Thank you. Good evening, President Davis. Good evening, board. Good evening, Dr. Miller and public. I am Laura Andrews, and I am here to give the annual board presentation. Everybody can hear me okay, or do I need to project a little bit? All right, great. Thank you. First of all, I would really like to extend my compliments to the staff here, especially to your principals, Mrs. Darnell, Mr. Bahalda, Mr. Guzman, and Mrs. Gonzalez. We worked very closely at the beginning of the Williams visits, along with Mr. McCullough, to conduct these visits here and adjust our visits to meet the needs of some of the MOU. And so I just want to compliment your staff on the great job that they did, turning in paperwork, meeting those requirements, all while launching your year in a distance learning format. So I really would extend my confidence to your administration and staff on meeting these Williams requirements. Williams is legislation from 2004. We've been in the same cycle for 9 years, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about the legislation of Williams, but I am going to talk a little bit about how it looked different this year due to COVID. Some changes because of COVID. Instructional material sufficiency was determined via a comparison of inventory versus school enrollment. So there was no actual physical verification of books because we conducted all visits with students off campus. Sufficiency is determined by a comparison of inventory as reported on the instructional materials survey, and it is verified by both the superintendent and the principal through the verification of current inventory statements. We successfully conducted facilities inspections at 24 sites within Merced County, 4 of them here in Dos Palos, while no students were on campus. Staff used appropriate PPE, followed social distancing, and all of our visits were safe, successful. And at the time, they actually felt kind of normal. It seemed like it was normal to get back out on sites and walk. One other change due to COVID is that SB 820 waived the requirement for any unannounced visits, so all of our visits were announced this year. With that, there are some changes to credentialing monitoring that are not COVID related. We have some changes in how that monitoring takes place. Due to AB 1219, all schools in California are now monitored for credential misassignments, not only schools identified for Williams. AB 1219 also removed the requirement for districts to report classrooms with EL enrollment over 20% because all teachers in California are required to have EL authorization. Districts will now submit their credential information through CalPads, which is our student data reporting system. CalPads will talk to the CTC. They'll crunch out the numbers, do the reports, and they will send that over to the county office, and then we will have misassignments. All of those definitions have changed a little bit over the years, so that will all look different coming up in the next year or two. With that transition taking place, we don't have any credential monitoring to report on for you this year. 1920 will be a non-consequential year in terms of teacher misassignments, and then in 2021, the CDE will start making the misassignment data public. So those are a lot of changes to how Williams looked this year. As I mentioned, the Williams settlement is from 2004 and really ensures standards for textbook sufficiency, good repair facilities, and teacher assignment for all California schools. And we also monitor the SART for any discrepancies. This is the 9th year of the 3-year cohort. Schools that we are currently visiting were identified based on the 2012 STAR test results. We are hoping and have our fingers crossed that now that we are actually in full implementation of LCFF and ESSA, that we will have a new system to identify schools soon that we may visit. The report that you have in front of you has findings related to, as I mentioned, instructional materials, facilities, the Williams data reported on the START, and any teacher misassignments. Overall, we are happy to report that there are no deficiencies in the SART, no insufficiencies in any of the instructional materials. Credentials, as I mentioned, there is nothing to report on. And overall, your facilities are in good repair. We see growth in your scores over the years. And with that, I would also note on behalf of Mr. Birch and myself, who conducted facilities inspections, we would like to extend our compliments to Mr. McCullough on the job that he is doing here in the district, and we see a market facility, so we are happy to report on that. I am happy to answer any questions.
Anyone have any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a nice Thanksgiving. Communications and for audience comment. 8.1, public concerns will be heard by the board at this time. However, they will not be discussed. Policy number 9323 limits individual presentation to 3 minutes. The president may extend the time under certain circumstances. This is the opportunity for members of the public to focus on issues important to the district's purpose of education. Under board policy, this time may not be used to present derogatory information of a personal nature on any employee. Members of the public who wish to address the board must speak from the podium and identify themselves.
Hello again, my name is Sergio Padilla. I am the president of Belfast Oregon Teacher Association as well as a teacher community member. I just wanted to take a minute to again publicly thank all of the teachers in the district for their tireless efforts over the past 8 months as we have collectively dealt with the social and societal fallout of COVID-19. A special thanks to those among us who have returned students to their classrooms amid this pandemic. It is impossible to measure the benefits our students are receiving by being in class with their peers, with their teachers, and whatever amount of time they are able to be there. I continue to believe that this is the best and right thing to do so long as the circumstances allow. The one thing I do want to call attention to is the amazing job that our distance learning teachers are continuing to do. With somewhere in the area of 40% of our elementary students' families having elected to stay on distance learning, These teachers who aren't yet able to come back with students stepped up to provide a vital service to this district and its students, and they should be commended for it. Every day they continue to work to provide students with a rigorous, thorough, and robust first-class digital education. When we initially moved to higher distance learning teachers, we had just two, express interest in doing the job. Many of these teachers volunteered, some were reassigned, but few, if any of them, really wanted to do it. They wanted to be back with their students in person. But recognizing the need and the fact that, and this is the quiet part of saying out loud, this is the job that none of them wanted to do. Nobody wants to do that job. They did what was best, what was in the best interest of our students. So as we enter this season of thanks, I want to personally thank each one of the 17 elementary teachers for sacrificing their self, time, and energy for the students at Bell's Palace. In kindergarten, I would like to say thank you to Teresa Noyes, Pat Gonzalez. In first grade, Lena Souza, Crystal Guerrero, and Anel Barreca. In second grade, Stacey Chow, Abigail Jacobo, and Monique Aguilar. Third grade, Samantha Padilla, Rose Jordan, and Rita Vitron. In fourth grade, Miss Debbie Neal, and Elise Tryon, and Pam Bunkoff. And in fifth grade, Kristen Flores, Ginger Bell, and Yair Navarro. So on behalf of myself, the community, and the Teachers Association, I would like to say thank you for those teachers for the job they're continuing to do for those students who are not here for attendance. Thank you.
Thank you. Adoption of routine consent items, 9.1, the consent calendar represents routine items acted upon in one motion by roll call vote. The recommendation is for adoption unless otherwise specified. Any item can be removed for discussion upon request. Contracts, agreements, proposals, 9.2, Fresno Pacific University internship agreement, 9.3, memorandum of understanding with NCOE for clear administrative services credential completion, admin keys program, 9.4, pumpkin donation to elementary school site, 9.5, board meeting minutes of 10:15, 20, regular board meeting, warrants and payroll, 9.6, warrants and payroll. I need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. O'Banion.
Second.
Second by Mr. Moraz. Are there any questions? Call for the vote. And it passes. Action items, 10.1, annual organizational meeting 2020-2021. I need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Moved by
I'll second.
Mr. Bond, second by Mr. Moraz. Dr. Miller?
So in election years, school boards are required to hold an organizational meeting. And so at the December board meeting, the organizational meeting will take place then. So this is just to approve that. And it's a requirement.
And that meeting will be on December 17th, 2020, starting at 5 p.m. Is that correct?
Correct.
Any questions? Call for the vote. Ten point two, McGraw-Hill Music Studio subscription for Marks Elementary School. I need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Moved by Mr.
Second.
Moraz, second by Mr. O'Banion. Dr. Miller?
So as you guys recall, we've approved a lot of educational platforms for different grade levels, different subjects. This is actually an online platform for music. And so with the music teacher that we recently hired for this school year that is teaching at BMS right now, he does have periods available to be able to support music students at Marks. And so this is going to be an online platform that we'll be able to utilize with elementary students at Marks.
Is there any questions?
Yes, will we be able to utilize emergency funds for this?
I believe we're, at least we're on the bottom here, it's supplemental concentration funds. We believe now that we're going to max out those funds. And so this actually goes to supplemental concentration, which is something that's kind of above and beyond to engage students. So this is the appropriate funding for that as well.
And Any other questions? Call for the vote. And it passes. 10.3 Learning Continuity Plan revised, updated. I need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Chase,
Second.
second by Mr. Morales.
So if you guys recall, you guys approved the learning continuity plan, I believe, the last board meeting, if I recall. However, it's been updated just for funding sources. And so some of them have been transferred over to the learning loss mitigation funds and the last one that was discussed, the supplemental concentration. And so that's the only change really to it is the funding sources.
Are there any questions? Okay, call for the vote.
While you're voting, even though Mrs. Grijalva is not here, I want to thank her for her time and energy on this report. She did a great job.
And it passes. 10.4, 2020-2021 Every Student Succeeds Act Comprehensive Supports and Improvement Grant Middle School. I need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Van Wert.
Second.
Second by Mr. Chase. Dr. Miller?
So if you recall, we recently, a few years ago, Marks and DPE were in CSI, and that's basically because of low student performance. And so because the performance improved, they came out of CSI. So right now, technically, Bryant is in CSI. And so this is basically the plan that is associated with the grant funding that the district has gotten, that we're implementing educational programs there to get them out of CSI. And so this is the plan associated with that. Type of revenue.
Any questions? Call for the vote. And it passes. 10.5 revised 2020-2021 UCP policies and procedures and distribution of annual notices. I need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Chase, second by Mr. Levandian. Dr. Miller?
So every district is required to have a uniform complaint policy and then also have documentation for those to have a complaint, fill out and submit. And so all this is like an updated form for the UCP policies, for the actual form that people would submit. And so there's just a couple of different improvements to that that's associated with new laws.
Are there any questions? Call for the vote. And it passes. 10.6 E-rate district network switch upgrade RFP. I need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Chase, second by Mr. Morales. Dr. Miller?
So this is, every year we have E-rate funding and Project does a great job with the paperwork associated with that. Most districts actually have an outside agency to do the E-rate documentation, but we do it all in-house with Project and his team. But this year, the funding is going to be dedicated to upgrading the switches in our network. And 85% of the money is going to come from E-rate. The district will pick up to 15%. So very minimal cost to the district for the improvement that we're going to receive. So, Ajay, did you want to add anything to that? Wow, I feel impressed with you. Thank you.
So let me ask a question. With the switch upgrade, I know that the ones you have in place now are what, 2014 or so?
Correct.
That's correct. About 6 years old. Are these going to improve bandwidth, speed, et cetera?
Correct. Most of the switches we currently have are taking is capable. There's a few older ones that the older sites that are still wouldn't be capable. We really need to upgrade those. Lots of the upgrade was back in 2014. So some of those are starting to fail. Folks at DP also be with their.
Chase has a question and Pajay needs to answer.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you. There's no other questions, call for the vote. And it passes. 10.7 Verizon macro contract. I need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Chase,
Second.
second by Mr. O'Banion. I'm assuming since Pajay's over there.
Yeah, I just mentioned that this is basically a contract to get us through with Verizon until our cell towers are up. And so I guess it's the next couple of months. Do you something you want to add, Pajay?
So basically, our current contract, the WISPA contract with Verizon is one way. Verizon giving us two options, basically the NASDAQ contract or the county contract. The NASDAQ contract is a better contract for cell phone. Along with that, Dr. Miller mentioned, it also carries our mobile hotspots with that. Any questions?
And this is just a temporary contract for a few months to carry us over, you said?
Yes, until we get 4G. Once we move to 4G, we'll definitely move away from the mobile hotspots.
Okay, but it would still cover the cell phones for the district? You're just cutting off that part of it, or reducing it to the number of hotspots that you may still use outside of
That's correct. Yeah.
outside of our community Wi-Fi, right?
Correct. We currently have about 45 cell phones that are used in the district for administrators and other folks in the district that need that cell phone service. So we'll definitely keep the NASDAQ contract for that. In terms of mobile services.
And then how many hotspots do you anticipate keeping?
I anticipate we'll probably more than 100. Great news and supply one business and beyond is the Nokia RF survey found that we probably cover about 95%. That's all kind of problem.
With our community Wi-Fi? That's awesome.
Excellent.
Yeah, initially it was 90%, but now it's after they've done more investigations, 95. So it's really good.
Probably 98, depending on which way the wind blows,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We're on track with the network and everything.
We are. They're moving fast. As I mentioned, the team is very fluid, but I meet with them every week. And so they have a schedule plan and it's moving fast.
Thank
Any
you.
other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Call for the vote. And it passes. 10.8 outdoor learning environments. I need a motion and a second.
So move.
Moved by Mr. Chase,
Second.
second by Mr. O'Banion. Dr. Moore.
So the bids were conducted today by David Stark, our architect, and also Matt McCullough, our director of OT. And for the learning centers, outdoor learning centers. So that concrete work, the lowest bid was Taylor Backhoe, and for $194,548.75. And the recommendation is to approve.
Are there any questions?
This is for 3 sites, correct? Dos Falls Elementary, Marks Elementary, as well as Brighton Middle School.
Yeah, Matt, do you want to kind of explain where locations and things like that, specific to the site?
We're gonna be doing underneath the actual solar, that is the solar arrays, only one section each side. We're not, maybe later on we'll do a one, but we'll just do one.
Mhm.
And then right here, Mark's Elementary on the curve, and we put the shade structure.
Is any of this CARES money or
It's all Carolina.
all CARES money? Okay. Thank you.
Any questions? Call for the vote. And it passes. 10.9 new playground project at Marks Elementary School. I need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Beaman, second by Mr. Morales. Dr. Miller.
Yeah, so as I shared with the board, I think a month or two ago, the Mark's Playground was out of compliance. And so Matt has done a legwork to get a plan together through a vendor and get a new playground set up for Mark's. And so Matt, if you want to share any more information?
This is starting out.
Yeah, sorry.
That's pretty much it.
That's not.
What is this playground gonna include?
There's a picture, I think.
Yeah,
There's a picture.
There's 2 or 3 pictures in there.
swing set, slide.
I have been asked multiple times, what do we gotta do to get more swing sets? And bam, there they are. That is awesome. That is awesome. Good job,
And
guys.
it's also ADA compliant. Brings us up to code.
77,893, right? What's the total?
Just in case some of you haven't had an opportunity.
It's a grant. Can we pull it up there?
It's 69 months.
And it's the correct color, so we're good.
Yes, it is.
Are there any questions? No? Okay, thank you, Mr. McCoy. Thank you, Mrs. Arnett.
Show it. Use the picture.
Go to 2.
Yeah, number 2 is a good pick. This will do away with the blue tire chip
No,
stuff.
We'll stay with it.
We'll still stay with that? Okay.
And I don't know if you actually read it, we're gonna do all the demo work with the pullback bar ourselves all in house. The only thing we're not doing is actually.
Awesome.
Any questions?
The
Thank
new
you.
playground, the new shape structure is much more pretty good.
All for the vote. And it passes. 10.10, resolution 2021-08, property tax line of credit. We need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. O'Banion,
I'll second.
second by Mr. Morale. Mr. Miller.
Yeah, Mr. Lopez, you're gonna jump in whenever I miss something. So basically, the property tax line of credit is basically money that's already owed to us, but we don't have it yet. And so in case we need cash, for, shortfalls or whatever, if there were deferrals, and as we discussed a little bit ago, there is dialogue, that there won't be deferrals this year because of the tax monies that's associated with California, and things are going really well with the economy and things like that. So if there's no deferral, then we really don't need this, but at the same time, we want to get it approved right now, just in case something were to happen. So, Mr. Lopez, you want to add to that at all?
This in place gives us the option if we need cash to meet our expenses. So we have it ready to go. We're just providing that opportunity for us to take advantage of the tri-fund period. Line of credit on our cash.
Are there any questions? All for the vote.
Take a 5-minute break. Turn off the mic on. We take a 5-minute break.
You want to roll call that last vote? And then
Sure.
I need to reboot my computer.
Mr. O'Banion?
Aye.
Mr. Bones?
Aye.
Mr. Tracy?
Yes.
Mr. Morale?
Yes.
Mr. Gray?
Yes.
Mr. Mallon?
Yes.
Mr. Davis is a yes as well. And it passes. And we'll take a 5-minute break.
Yeah. Computer's vibrating a lot.
Is she? It's okay.
Bouncing all over the place. And see what happens.
Just means that her husband's gonna have to do more work, so she'll be all right.
Means mama's gonna have to figure out how to help the baby and roll around in the cart.
So mama needs to slow down for the ways. They can bring the baby to you. They live in Clovis, right?
Just plug in. Maybe it is. Well, I use it a lot, so it's probably. Yeah, just a. Sorry, my computer just started like vibrating and bouncing around.
But if there is. Yeah. Yeah. See how it- Yeah.
Hello, it's Moy.
Okay. All right.
Maybe it's at the cafeteria. There's a desk at the cafeteria. We had to-
I told him because he. Yeah, so it's probably the coffee. Computer's vibrating. Yeah.
Fresno State game is canceled.
Where were they gonna play?
San Jose State.
They canceled that game?
Yep.
Because of Go.
Bagmeter just posted it.
Because of the Go.
I mean,
No, because of contact tracing within the Fresno State program.
It's a big game for them. Hopefully they'll make it up.
Right.
right here, we're gonna combine the personnel, but we're gonna limit one.
Yeah, I want to go.
What are we gonna do? Okay, so we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4 individually.
Correct.
And then you're gonna do 11, 5, 2, 11, 18,
Minus.
and then. Yep, nope, not a problem. Okay, so 11.5 do 11.18 and omit 11.11. And then as soon as we're doing that, then we're gonna do a verbal on 11.11. Before we continue with 11.19. And then
Correct.
these are gonna be separate.
Correct.
Good, and then this meeting will be over.
Which one's you gonna do, Jeremy?
I'm gonna go 11.5. It's like 11.5 to 11.1. I'm gonna take out 11.11.
Oh.
Need some help?
No, I don't.
You got it? Right, too far back.
Nope, you're good.
I'm having a belly day today.
Can I get
I
that?
got a damn,
Yes, around 10.11. Mr. Mraz will probably be a little
it's good, but
delayed. He's having to take a call.
Okay. All right. 10.11, DPHS football stadium ADA improvement. I need a motion and a second.
So move.
Moved by Mr. O'Banion,
Second.
second by Mr. Chase.
So this is basically phase 2 of the football for the artificial turf and all their track project at Dpol High School. This is basically the path of travel with the stadium and also the path of travel around the all-weather track and artificial turf. Then also some concrete work on the ramps to make them ADA compliant. So Matt, is there anything else that I missed? ADA compliant parking lot. An ADA compliant parking lot as well for path of travel with bathroom at the ag park.
Did you want to wait for Mr. Mraz to?
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you were telling me that because we were moving forward or we're waiting.
Oh, I can remove him if you like.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
He's on call.
We'll give him 2 minutes.
Has anybody here not seen a picture? I'll show you. Yeah, actually, I know how you guys uploaded the video today. This is how they're put together. Very cool.
I saw that. That was cool.
You guys are really quiet.
it's just removing the new one.
Very long day.
Okay.
Now
If
they're
we're moving,
down.
let's move on.
Now they're down.
Not on there?
This one here.
No, no, no. There it is.
Madam President, can we just move on?
And it passes. 10.12, adoption of state approved science curriculum grades 6, 7, and 8. I need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Vaughn, second by Mr. Van Wert.
So there's been basically an evaluation of science curriculum by the science department of Bryant Middle School, also our district administration, site administration,
Then also some percent county officer vet science specialist, and they'd like to move forward with stethoscopes. I believe stethoscopes is also at the high school, correct? Yeah, so this would basically be the same curriculum that the high school already has, and we would implement it at the middle school as well.
Okay, are there any questions? Call for the vote. And it passes. We'll move on to personnel. Just for clarification, any of the items under personnel can be voted on one by one individually, as a group, if the motion is made that way. And if motion made as a group, anyone can pull any one of those out in that group at any time, just for the purpose of clarification. 11.1 custodian district recommended candidate John Garza. I need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. O'Banion,
Second.
second by Mr. Vaughn. Dr. Miller.
So this is just a refilling a position that we have, a position in the district.
Questions? Call for the vote. And it's passed. 11.2 ELL specialist Marks Elementary recommended candidate Claudia Rodriguez. I need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. O'Banion,
Second.
second by Mr. Vaughn. Dr. Miller.
Similar, this is a position that became vacant. And so Claudia was technically on ICC coordinator, correct? And then she has interviewed for the position and was a successful candidate to be the EL specialist.
Further questions? Call for the vote. And it's passed. 11.3 lead teacher in charge, Doss House Preschool, recommended candidate Melissa Harrelson. I need a motion and a second. Moved by Mr. Van Wert,
Second.
second by Mr. Vaughn.
Self-explanatory.
Any questions? Call for the vote. And it passes. 11.4 webmaster, Doss College Preschool, recommended candidate Melissa Harrelson. Need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. O'Banion,
Second.
second by Mr. Vaughn.
Yeah, every school site has a webmaster, and so this is the preschool webmaster.
Call for the vote. And it passes. 11.5 softball head coach, Bryant Middle School, recommended candidate Rebecca Navarro. I need a motion and a second.
Madam President,
Mr. O'Banion.
I would like to take 11.5 clear through to 11.18, all in one motion and vote, excluding 11.11.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Vaughn. There's a motion to take 11.5 softball head coach, Bryant Middle School, recommended candidate Rebecca Navarro. 11.6 volunteer girls soccer coach, Doss College High School, recommended candidate Inez Cabrera. 11.7 baseball head coach, Bryant Middle School, recommended candidate Anthony Merced. 11.8 wrestling head coach, Bryant Middle School, recommended candidate Ken Hamill. 11.9 JV football assistant coach, Doss College High School, recommended candidate John Garcia. 11.10 volunteer boys basketball coach, Doss College High School, recommended candidate Brian Uriart. 11.12 JV boys soccer head coach, Doss College High School, recommended candidate Jessica Shores. 11.13 wrestling assistant coach, Bryant Middle School, recommended candidate Garrett Leva. 11-14 FMLA COVID leave, emergency paid sick leave, expanded medical leave. 11.15 JV boys basketball coach, Bryant Middle School, recommended candidate Anthony Merced. 11-16 JV girls soccer head coach, Dos Palos High School, recommended candidate Vanessa Cabrera. 11-17 JV football assistant coach, Dos Palos High School, recommended candidate Jason Warren and Miguel Padero, split stipend. 11-18 varsity wrestling assistant coach, Dos Palos High School, recommended candidate Armando Pimentel. Those are all self-explanatory. Are there any questions? Are you good? Okay, call for the vote. And it passed.
Let me get to 11.11, we'll vote on that one.
Okay.
Then
11.11 JV cheer head coach, Dos Palos High School, recommended candidate Juliana Barboa. I need a motion. Excuse me. Moved by Mrs. Reyes,
Second.
second by Mr. Bond. Call for the vote. 11.19 temporary distance learning teacher for 2020-21 school year, Dos Palos Elementary. Recommended candidate Monica Aguilar Gonzalez. I need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. O'Manion, second by Mr. Vaughn.
That was Bill. Bill second.
Oh, I heard you both. Dr. Miller?
So 11.19, 11.20, we've had some students that have started off in seat time and then have elected to go to distance learning. And so, instead of having them go to a distance learning class that lends itself to a potential distance learning class that's 30, 33, 34 kids, which is way too much, we're bringing on temporary spending learning loss mitigation funds to bring on temporary positions that are only for the remainder of the school year, and to pick up those 10 to 15 students that are displaced from the seat time program.
Are there any questions? Thank you, Dr. Miller. Call for the vote. And it passes. 11.20 temporary distance learning teacher for 2020-21 school year, Dos Palos Elementary. Recommended candidate. I need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. O'Manion, second by Mr. Vaughn.
So,
Are there any questions?
or excuse me, same.
Call for the vote. And it passes. 11.21 extra pay for extra duty health technicians, Marks Elementary and Dos Palos High School. I need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Chase, second by Mr. Van March. Dr. Miller?
So Priscilla, our district nurse, has requested to have two particular health techs be kind of on call for extra hours from time to time as they do contact tracing, other issues that come up. These two health techs, Emily Galindo and Rocio Machado, they both speak Spanish. And so having bilingual services later in the day beyond, right now, both of them are 5 hours. We have approval to go 6 hours with them. We got that approval earlier in the school year to form a board meeting. But Priscilla would like to extend them to 8 hours periodically on as needed basis to make those Spanish phone calls.
Are there any questions? Call for the vote. And it passes. Information and discussion, 12.1, resignation, sophomore.
Yeah, we have just 2 resignations. One of them is actually a promotion. If you recall, Funny Lottery is promoted to that. And then Lacey Wooten is leaving the district. She's an instructional leader in the district.
Written reports, 13.1, educational and personnel services, 13.2, food services, 13.3, health services, 13.4, maintenance, operations, and transportation, 13.5, preschool, 13.6, special education, and 13.7, technology. Those are all informational items. Does anyone have any questions? Okay. 14.1, fiscal cash status update, presented by Melissa Kupinski, Assistant Superintendent. Mrs. Kupinski.
Thank you and good evening. They will try to bring it up. So I have provided for your review the updated cash flow report for our actual to October 31st, 2020. The new information that's been incorporated is the increase of our cash deferred in the current year from 5.4 million last month to 6.1 million. That's due to applying the specific percentages that were published by the CBE on what to expect on those expected cash deferrals. So according to the fiscal report I read today, put out by School Services in California, it says that the Legislative Analyst Office of the LAO reports that tax collections comprised of sales tax, income tax, and corporate tax are beating projections and are trending at 22% ahead of the lower projections that were used when the 2021 enacted state budget. Now, to put that in perspective, the LAO is kind of expecting a windfall, but for that to happen, if that trend continues, the revenues that we would need to exceed projections by 33.5 billion, which means that in these final 7 months of the fiscal year, we must continue to outpace projections by a total of 22.2 billion. So with this being the 22% above what was projected, the annual the prediction of the state's revenue growth over the next subsequent 3 years only shows an average increase of 1%. So it was projected low, coming in higher, but if we take a look at what it actually will land at, it's projected to be 1% growth. And with the current expenditures and current law policies that started first, our expenses are going to be probably more along the lines of a 4.4% increase. So it's still a time to be prudent in our expenses and in our forecasting. We've had a big relief with the COVID dollars and the CARES Act dollars, kind of a little spending spree, but now that those are coming to the end, with most of those expiring at the end of December, we'll be kind of back to normal until we figure out what the true projections are going to be. LRO projects at their projection, but then the governor takes all that in and decides in his January budget really what the numbers will be and what the revenue projections will be. It's a wait and see, but it is a little bit of a rosy outlook. Looks like things are trending a little better than expected. So that's a good thing. Any questions?
Anybody have any questions? 14.2, report, Dr. Miller.
Yeah, just a couple things I want to mention. I want to commend the Bryan Middle School staff for their efforts to provide turkeys to families, needy families. The staff got together and pitched in money, and they were able to purchase 19 turkeys for families for Thanksgiving. And I think that was pretty amazing by them and pretty thoughtful. So it's exciting. Artificial turf should be done, I believe, on Tuesday, correct, Matt? And so again, we're starting the concrete phase after that. I want to thank the board members for approving that. And the field looks fantastic. And I'll say it again, the field does look fantastic. And after the concrete work and then the all other track, it's going to be a great spectacle, great opportunity for kids, all kids that participate in a variety of activities. So thank you, board members. Solar projects coming to a close. I know we have some electrical issues where we're turning things off during the day to get that going, but we're getting closer to being finished. Do you have an ETA? Not yet, but we're getting closer to the end, which is exciting. So we can flip the switch and start saving some money, even more money. So, and then again, I just kind of echoing what Sergio said. I can't thank the staff enough, what teachers are doing right, all staff, but distance learning teachers, seat time teachers, you know, everybody's, like I said, again, I kind of recurring theme, but everybody's pitching in together and doing the work, which is, again, not a bunch of fun associated with the distance learning, but there are great things going on. And is it perfect? No, because we're in a pandemic. But in the grand scheme of things, our staff is fantastic. They're doing, like I said, again, great things for kids in the midst of a really ugly situation. And we know that there's maybe needs not being met, not necessarily in the classroom, just in general, because kids aren't at school. And you hear the things, mental, social, emotional impacts that are having on kids and things like that, that'll last years beyond. But at the same time, I strongly believe that our staff, our teachers, are doing everything in their power to connect with kids. And so I can't say enough about the job and the work that's being done for kids. So, so anyway, thank everybody. I want to thank everybody here, and I want to thank everybody that's watching virtually. So thank you.
Thank you. 14.3, report from board members. Mr. O'Banion.
Yeah, I'd just like to wish everybody a happy and safe Thanksgiving. Enjoy your time with your family. I know we're not supposed to be with family, but family time is always good time, no matter at what distance it is. So I just want to wish everybody a safe and happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully we can come back after Thanksgiving break and continue the process and progress that we've made through such a difficult time in the last few months.
Mr. Vaughn.
I have nothing.
Mr. Chase.
I just want to reiterate things that I've said before, is that we have to continue to push. And I do want to thank the staff in this district, from food services through to our education, our educators, our maintenance staff, everybody in this district in focusing on the kids and getting these kids' needs fulfilled and getting them back, hopefully, into the classroom sooner. As you mentioned, the social emotional impact of this on our children has been at the forefront of my concern since day one. And getting these kids back to normal, getting our society back to normal should be, everybody's key focus. And the sooner that can happen, the better off our kids can be. So, keep doing what you're doing, because you are making a difference in their lives. Every bit you can touch on them and have that interaction with them, whether it's over the computer, whether it's in person, etc. Our kids need that, definitely.
Mr. Mraz.
I'm going to piggyback on Dr. Miller. Thank you to the staff. I'm hearing great things about Dpol schools. As I'm out in Merced County doing my work, they're talking about us in other towns and it's positive things. And that's to you guys, teachers, the administrators, Matt, the work that you're doing. We're just hearing great things out, not just here in this community, out in the county. So, I mean, we're making we're doing some good stuff. They're talking about us and they're talking good. So keep up the good work, guys.
Isn't that right? Mr. Van Wert?
Yeah, I'd just like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving too, and it's really exciting to see that some of these projects are finally getting done. It seems like it's been, I know the solar project's been going on for 4 years, so it's exciting to see that stuff getting done.
In the spirit of Thanksgiving, really, what Mr. Mraz touched on, that we all, I think, are hearing, how are you guys doing this? How are you guys doing this? How are you able to do this? How are you able to do that? And the answer quite simply is that we're able to do all of this and all of that because of all of you. And if it wasn't for each and every one of you, the maintenance department, the food services, the transportation, I know there was a lot of effort put into the bus route and the scheduling to get these kids that want to be in the classroom with the guidelines and the restrictions. And the village here, as is always the case in Dos Palace, we may argue, fight, yell, scream, disagree, but when it comes time to get together because somebody's in need, or in this case, the kids are in need, every single one of you has stepped up for these kids. And I want to thank all of you. I hope that you have a very safe and wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope you get some rest that you all desperately need. I think we all have fatigue of one kind or the other. So please enjoy your time. Be well, and thank you again for everything that you do. 15.1, requests from board members for future agenda items. Mr. O'Banion,
Nothing at this time.
Mr. Bond,
Nothing.
Mr. Chase,
Nothing.
Mr. Mraz.
Nothing at this time.
Mr. Ryu.
I have something, when it comes to the cameras, like the way the incident was of the theft, is there anybody else besides Palget that can view the films for, faster updated information to law enforcement?
We've gone through and also instructed the administrators on how to use those camera software. There's some, there's also Matt that also knows how to use it as well now. They're fairly
That's what I was
new,
gonna
but
ask if Matt had access.
And also to jump in on that, it just happened to be right when we were upgrading down. So my system was down, so it's kind of
The timing of
the timing is, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So if we were on old system, I knew how to use that. And the new system, we're just getting it updated on our computers. So luckily, my dates are coming down.
Okay, awesome. Good.
Mr. Van Wert? And I have 16.1, adjourn meeting. I need a motion in a second.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. O'Banion, second by Mr. Chase.
What did they do? They lumped them together?